It's 3 days to Christmas and already there's frenzy in the air. Beautiful decorations and colorful lightnings adorn the streets and many homes. The joyful spirit of Christmas has enveloped many Nigerians. Airports and garages are packed as many travel to spend time with family and loved ones. Many parents will be setting eyes on their children again after months and even years of being apart. Many want this trend to change, as the elderly should be cared for at all times and not only during Christmas. Well, joining me now for more on this is economic strategist and the author of the book Beyond Salary, Babatunde Raimi. Also in the studio is in-house analyst Obani Akinwale. Gentlemen, compliments of the season. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Right. As we pointed out, Christmas is that period where people remember perhaps their family members, as it has been over the years. They remember to go home, go spend some time with their families and all of it. But we see recent developments that a lot of people have even migrated out of the country. And so their parents may not even see them for a long time, those who have left the country. Because the thing is, most parents pride themselves in having their children and grandchildren around. You know, it gives them this joy and all of it. But it has been said now that we must do better. It shouldn't just be a period where we remember our parents and we remember our loved ones, the elderly, to spend time with them. But if we're talking of doing better, where do we begin, Obani?
There is this popular saying that if you want to keep something from a black man, just put it in a book. And as much as possible, we want to say those kind of comments are racist are not true. But I would like to read through the section 16.2, subsection D of Nigeria Constitution, that says the state shall direct its policy towards ensuring that suitable and adequate shelter and suitable and adequate food, reasonable national living wage, old age care, pension and unemployed, sick benefit and welfare of disabled are provided for all citizens. So this is what was written in our constitution, section 16.2, subsection D of our Nigerian constitution, that even said what is the government supposed to do.
Right.
But let's ask ourselves, has anything inside the amendment, Nigerian Constitution has amended, has it been done to any facet of life in this country till today? Absolutely no. Then you ask again, how do we treat the people that are not even old? How much more do we place premium on people that are old? So we have not fared better in this country in terms of even taking care of people that are alive. And it's so appalling and disappointing that the only set of people that seems to enjoy their retirement period of their old age are ex-presidents, ex-governors, ex-Senate presidents, ex-permanent secretary, ex-people from DIG to brigadier general. But you look at people below commissioner of police carrying placard, they are not
pensioners, we see what happens.
So you see that we don't place premium on people that have used their life to serve this country. You can imagine President Muhammadu Buhari coming to pay about 25-year backlog of some retirees. It shows the kind of country where we run. So if we're not taking care of the junior ones, you know the slang in town now, they said, it's either you sakpa, that is police that acts you down, or you japa. Japa means you run out of this country. So
which you have seen.
So obviously, we are only having rhetorics. Are we taking care of the young? And what are the plans for everybody? So, and that is why you find that the system is lopsided. So everybody wants to ensure that they are amassed as much as possible so that when they get to old age, even let's look at our pension system. When your pension are being removed on a monthly basis from your employee, there is no issue. The moment you want to apply for your pension, you start hearing, how old are you? What is your health history? How soon will you die? What amount will be paid to you monthly? Go and bring this letter. When they take you out of your job? So you have a system that is scheme in such a way to ensure that people's life are impoverished and there is no premium for any life. So when we are talking about the old age or young age, we are in a country whereby everything has been written to ensure that we have a better life, but we have implementation is poor, and the implementers who are supposed to govern us, they never care about anybody except themselves and their immediate family.
Right. Let's get your perspective to this matter, because I saw you were doing, you were smiling and perhaps you might want to, just add to what he said.
Yes, I just want to say that, Mr. Obani, you are a star. you spoke from the heart. And if you can look deep into my eyes now, you'll see it's like I feel very teary. This is because, in fact, you have said virtually everything. This is a country where it's like we are sitting on a rocky chair and nothing is working. Senior citizens are suffering. I'm happy that you read from the Nigerian Constitution, which governs everybody. As I speak with you, the president has signed into law the National Senior Citizens Center.
Yeah.
As I'm speaking to you today, they don't have funds to kick off.
They are looking for stakeholders.
Yes, and the president just declared, I think, October 5, Senior Citizens Day.
Yeah.
What are we celebrating when these people are suffering in abject poverty? What are we celebrating when most of them cannot even feed?
But isn't that a step, at least, that could bring about the paradigm shift that we are looking forward to?
He just read from the Constitution that
I'm just saying, what the president just did, at least he took a step.
Well, you can say it's a step, but as I'm speaking with you, it's on paper that we are seeing it. And in Nigeria, most of the things that we see are just on paper. As I'm speaking with you now, most senior citizens, let me put it that way, don't even know how they are going to spend Xmas. He spoke about so many issues. He talked about their pension also. As I'm speaking with you, some of them, they have worked for so many years. Their parking allowance, their severance, apart from your pension, there are some other allowances that you're entitled to. They don't get it. Some of them, they are even earning pension now. The small money that they are earning, they are using it to meet, when you are getting old, some illness comes with them, joint pain, diabetes and all. They are using it to meet all those things. And before you know, they have nothing to keep. They don't have savings, they don't have anything. They don't have health care, they don't have anything that they can fall back on. Retirees are really suffering in Nigeria today. Senior citizens are suffering. Even if you did not work for a private company, you did not work for federal government, as long as you're a senior citizen, you should be treated very well and respected. You and I one day will join them. Mr. Bani, one day you will join them too.
Absolutely.
What is our hope?
Let me also add to what he said, that is it the right step? I will say it is no step. And I will say it with emphasis because I remember in 1999, God bless Lagos State for always producing exceptional people. Senator Ganiu Solomon was the one that moved that motion in collaboration with one senator from Benue State for need for us to take care of the elderly ones. The act was signed in 2017 to say let's make provision for these older elderly ones. But we have pension acts in place since time immemorial, right? And it is not only criminal for anybody to remove pension and not to remit it. But you find out that both federal government and state government are already eating the elderly one's future when they are alive. Not only that, you know what federal government is doing now? Federal government is saying, yes, PENCOs, pension for administrators cannot continue to warehouse money. We begin to borrow those money and use it to do infrastructure.
Yes.
So it means that your pension contribution, my pension contribution has now been borrowed by this government to build infrastructure, which is a laudable one. The question is, who will pay it back? We go for sukuk or go for free Islamic banking loan to pay our pension back? So these are some of the things that are ideal. You find it so funny that it is only in this country where somebody has used about 35 quality percent of his life to work for a government. And the money, the retiree pension or even the emolument to retirees or to the aged one are not something they are begging for. You make the deduction while they were in active service.
It's their right.
And yet, when they go to the point, you will see governors in this part of the country saying, we have just released 800 million naira to offset contribution pension. You ask yourself, you are releasing my money, what I've worked for? There was a time people were saying, don't even remove our tax, don't remove our pension. Let people know that I'm eating my breakfast, my lunch and my dinner together. But when you are saying you are keeping my dinner for me, at the end of the day, people need to carry placard, people need to be fainting. Even for military officers, yes, they will tell them to go and kill. Somebody has gone to Sambisa to be. There was a story TVC was putting on a few days ago, an assistant commissioner of police that had bullet wound.
Yes.
What happens to that man? What happens to his family? What happens? It's not an aged person here. So it shows clearly that we don't have value for life for this country. And he said something that Mr. President, by creating October 5 as the day for this thing, why can't Mr. President say he forfeited his own salary for 1 year? Is that too much? Mr. President is a former head of state.
But at least he took a step.
There is no step there. There is no, what is step? People are dying on daily basis.
Can the government do this alone? Shouldn't other stakeholders come in to support
who are the stakeholders?
Private sector
and
every
private sector. If a government of a state is owing people that are currently working 48 months salary, that's a criminal offense. So how much more?
Take them to court now.
How much more? Who is the court? Are you saying the judges are not being owed? Are we saying that? Are we saying the retirees or the elderly ones that are judiciary members are being treated very well? Do you remember a governor of the day come and said, okay, I've bought SUV for all our judiciary officers, as if they are his domestic staffs? So what we're saying is that if government is failing the responsibility of taking care of the aged one that serve even in his government, how much more would the same government use the same stick to ask private sectors, what are you doing? And again, do we want to keep private sector in this country?
They can contribute, they can join hands with the government to do something.
PPP, build road, tax, private sector.
We see them in other countries, don't we see?
In other countries, government provides security. In other countries, government provides infrastructure.
Right.
In other countries, government provides a very sane environment for business. In other countries, there is good health facilities. In this country, you find that the best health facilities are owned by private institutions. Now, let's ask ourselves, what has subsequent government from 1999 till today has done for private sectors? What have they done? And what you find out is that they use their cronies to even buy businesses. At the end of the day, government is buying government and government is giving loan to the government. And yet people are suffering. So what we're saying in essence is that the elderly ones, either you are working for government or you're even a private practice, deserve at least in their own country to have.
They deserve better.
Yes.
They deserve better, which is something we all agree.
Of course.
So we have reeled out the myriad of problems and challenges. We must find solution, no matter how we look at the issues.
There is a solution. We have a solution.
We have a solution.
Of course.
Let's begin, because I know it will take us on a long journey.
I'm happy that I'm actually sharing the same with him, because I interface with these people every time, every day. In fact, some of them call me 12 o'clock. My wife is so used to it now that when they call, your people are calling you. So the issue now is that, you know, in the face of all these problems, can we say that as a nation, do you know that if people retire now, it takes them over 1 year to assess their own money? Let's attempt to separate privilege from rights. This is their right now. If government can pay me my terminal benefit, my retirement benefit, 1 month, maximum 3 months after retirement, I will know how to plan my life. That is one of it. Then secondly, why can we not have a structure where senior citizens 60 years and above will have free health care? Why can we not have in all our local government areas where senior citizens can go for some form of empowerment?
So state governments owning this whole thing now, it's what you're talking about.
Government should be responsible
at various levels.
At various levels. Federal, state, and local government should be responsible at all levels. So that's a major solution to free Medicare for people age 60 and above. Give them their entitlement on time and let them plan.
My political friends will not like me.
Okay.
And I will tell you, if as a government we have agreed that we have about 469 members of the parliament, and their salary ranges from 1.3 million to 1.5 million per month, which you and I know that most CEOs of private companies in Nigeria may not be able to suffice for their director. At the end of the day, we also agree that some people are entitled to what they call constituency allowance of 13 million every quarter, while others are allowed to 15 million. If we do multiplication, 13 times 4 will give us 42 million. If you do 42 million times 360 House of Rep members, it will give us into billions of naira. Now, why do you need to pay somebody that's collecting 1.5 million another 13 million? So why can't we channel this money to people that are poor in the society? Why can't we channel the 15 million naira that we're going to pay every quarterly of the month? Don't say you see a senator who have PA to SA to this, and yet you have their parents in the village staying in hamlet, brain beating them up and down. Is that impossible? Federal government said, oh, the road are bad, blah, blah, blah. NNPC come all of a sudden and said they want to give us 121 billion to do our infrastructure. Very laudable. Is it a crime for us to make sure that all our oil companies remit 1% of our royalties to take care of our old ones? Absolutely. Is it too much for them to ask? Is it too much to ensure that all these governors, that when they leave office, that they will still get 400 million, 2 SUV after 2 years, 2 DSS and this? Is it too much for us to reduce that, to ensure that live a minimal life with your security, nobody is saying they should not enjoy after serving all of us, and ensure that the rest of us I also see the reason why is I know that my grandfather, my grandmother will need me to take care of them, and I know what I'm earning is not enough. It is either a japa or a sapa to make ends meet. That's sincerity. So government needs to be deliberate. You look at ASU. It is only in this country that when you do a lot of jojo and the jojo is not working, people go to war. It's until we see the old men carrying placard that they are dying, they cannot do this.
We've seen that.
Is it too much for us to say anybody above 60 go to federal medical centers? This kind of ailment, it is free. How much is HMO for old ones? These are things that government can do at no cost. The aircraft from Mr. President, how many has he traveled this year? Are they must? Is virtual conference not possible? Can't we channel this to take care of these old ones? Can't we make sure that any governor that default in paying pension to these elderly ones is not only an offense but an impeachable offense? Can't we do that? Until we begin to do that, and until we begin to put all political office holder on salary like civil servants, and let us ensure that the money is rationed to all of us. So because some people are living like and some people are living in penury, if we begin to take these drastic measures, we will have
are we ready to take those drastic?
We are ready. I'm telling you, we are ready.
Who are those that are ready?
We have all seen the flash. See, my grandmother always tell me that if you push it, if you are chasing a goat, when you chase the goat to the wall,
it will
turn back to you. We have seen a flash. What happened when we have the total lockdown for the youth? We should not allow the elders. The elders are the one that called us and said, I know him. He's from this compound in Ekwetumodu. Don't do this or that again. If those elders are not talking to us again, the society will continue to degenerate and getting worse and worse daily. And we have to make sure that we tame that now, because the society that allows the elders to give quality advice, because the time the old man is telling me that Niki, carry your aluta banner, let us go to the street, we know we have total degeneration, and we don't want that to happen in this country. And our elderly ones deserve better, and government must act now.
Right. Very fine place to leave the conversation. Governments must act now. Gentlemen, economic strategist and author of the book, Beyond Salary, Babatunde Raimi, thank you. In-house analyst, Obani Akewali, thank you as well for your time.
Thank you for having us.